Well, 2 weeks out. I'm hungry, I'm sleepy. I'm ready to get it over with. I want to eat apple pie.
Yes.
I'm so ready to eat apple pie and cookies and cake. All the sweet stuff. Oh, yeah. So today we're gonna work back. And
we're gonna do a little back work, maybe touch on a little bicep work.
What's the goal at this stage, John?
Just to fine tune the little things, you know. Want to make sure that I just get her as dry as possible. Continue to come down a little bit more, you know. And I like to have everything put like on precision time, you know. I don't want to do it too soon, pull things out too soon. I want to pull the water out completely too soon, but I want to make sure there's enough in there so the muscle bellies will stay nice and full. Now, she looked completely different than she did last week. Now, next week it'll be a completely different thing. She'll look even better. And then we'll just narrow it down from that final week, day by day. It's a day-by-day process at that point. Actually, today is a day-by-day process when we get 2 weeks out. So I'll see her again. I'll see her every single day up until the show.
How often are you guys posing like this?
Every day.
Every day posing?
Every day. Every day, sometimes twice.
Do you feel that the posing helps?
The posing helps, and I always tell them we always do it after training.
Okay.
Because it helps with conditioning. Help with conditioning, help with hardness, and it helps with the overall confidence of everything that we're looking for. Because the more you do that, the better your body responds to it. The more you do it, you know, it's like fine tuning the machine. It becomes automatic, you know, and it makes the body look completely different the more you do it. You know, so she poses every day. She poses with Sid every day, or once a week, and then she does her own posing every day, twice a day sometimes. So it's a real good process. It's a thorough process, and people don't realize how important that posing is, not just for the presence of having a routine, but it helps your body with more conditioning, and it enhances it even more when you do it after you've done training. It's like doing cardio afterwards, but except you burn more calories when you pose if you pose hard enough, and it doesn't take as long. So, you know, it's more of a conditioning thing than anything else. The weight training at this point, is down the hill a little bit. That's not the most important thing. It's more touch-up work now as far as the weight training goes, but it's the conditioning now. It's all about conditioning at this point. Just making sure you come in nice and dry. It beats her up, but it is what it is.
yeah, we're close.
Yep.
We're close.
We're close, and it looks good.
And I love the two shows together because I get a nice little break, just enough time to kind of, you know, get in some good eats, ease off the gas just a tiny bit.
Yep.
Just 2 days. It's
Yep.
not long, it's just 2 days. But that 2 days is a good enough time for me to get my mind back into, you know, high speed to get ready for the Olympia. So.
Yeah. All right, very good. Let's take care of a little business.
All right, off we go.
That's it. Good stretch.
And biceps humming.
Yep.
By the way, coach is making me work biceps now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I must have like put that out there too much. Now he's like, you need to work your biceps. And I'm like, oh.
Gotta
I
stay
never
on
work
top of it.
arms. He doesn't make me lift a lot of weight, but
Yeah.
we touch him up, you know.
When does that happen?
Once a week.
Okay.
Usually on back day, you know, because it's already pre-worked anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you could have seen my face. It was like, what? I've scooted by for the last 7 years without having to work biceps.
You're kidding me.
No. The back lifts are usually heavy enough where I don't have to. But, you know, and I get it. You know, I had to really start to think about, okay, leave no stone unturned. So might as well work them. Better to not be lax as the champ. Just touch them up. Once a week is not bad. I mean, you know, come on.
It's just
I
biceps.
have nothing to complain about.
There we go. Way to pull it. I think as a competitor gets closer to the show, especially when you become 2 weeks out, the more time you take off from doing your other activities, the better you get a response from your body. You know, and what I mean by that is, you know, if you can take a lot more time away from work, especially the last couple of weeks. Get more rest. Your body will be fine, in tune with more of what you're doing. At this point, it's just very critical how much rest you get because that's all you have. You know, you pretty much eating, you walk around on fumes anyway. You know, so it's a more of a rest thing. The better response you get. The more rest at this point, when you was very low on calories, people don't realize and understand your body will still get a better response even if you are 14 weeks out, because the rest factor takes over, in my opinion, from everything else, because that's where your growth is now. You know, that's where everything relies on. Food and rest. Because at the gym point, at this point, working out now, that's second nature. The only thing that's important right now, getting good rest, getting your meals in, and getting some good, thorough cardio in to make sure your body's well conditioned.
Yeah.
Especially at this level.
100%.
It's not about size now, you know? That's not the issue anymore.
Yeah.
You gotta bring the fine tuning in.
Is that what you're gonna do after you leave? Is take a nap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nap for as long as I can. I try to just let my body rest. I wake up, I try not to set an alarm, just let my body just rest. And I will, you know, when I wake up, get a meal in, do a little cardio, and then practice posing. I usually will practice posing for about 30 minutes. Tomorrow I have posing with John first, and then I'll have posing with my posing coach, Sid Gillen. And then another round of training, followed by cardio. So yeah, tomorrow's a pretty busy day, but it's always nice because normally after I'll do the posing session with John and then a posing session with Sid, that very next day, Tuesday, I'm even leaner. Because, you know, I put my body through the rigors of some intense posing. I mean, between the two of them. And it's only 30 minutes. It's not long.
Yeah.
But my body responds really, really well. You know, and given enough sleep,
Yeah. Yep.
it's like a fine-tuned machine. It just knows exactly what to do. And I sweat like crazy during it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And it always works out best. But after a good posing session, if you've had a real good one, you burn more calories than you do if you were doing 30 minutes of cardio, because the impact of posing is very, very hard. You know, it's like running a sprint every time you hit a shot almost, because you have to hold it.
Yeah.
You know how some guy after a few poses, you know, you wind it. It's like you ran some sprints, and that's what's the most important thing about it, especially when you're 2 weeks out. Posing, you know, is a form of another workout. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's why people practice. When I practice with the people, it's over and over and over and over and over again. No matter how many times they got it down, it could be perfect. But the more you do it, the better you look. The better your body's going to respond. The harder your body's going to be. The more conditioned you're going to be.
Yeah.
You know, so all those things I've taken into consideration, especially with her when she gets this close, because it's nothing but another workout.
Yep.
And that's why when we come in, I said we don't need we may need 15 minutes on the floor, but we need 30 minutes posing.
Yep.
Because that's where it's at right now. You know, the harder you pose, the harder the muscle is, the more conditioning will come out.
Yeah.
And I really get strict about it with the very last week, because the very last week she won't be doing much of anything at all, but posing.
Yep.
And that's going to be her workouts.
On demand though.
Yeah, on demand, because it takes a lot to do that, and it would be overkill to try to do a thorough session of posing and get a workout in. That'd be too much, especially the last week. So at the last week, training's out the door. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not very much. But her main purpose of training at the last week is getting all those posing sessions in, because that takes a lot to do, and we have to make sure that we do that at the right time. Make sure our energy level is up to par for it, because it takes a lot to do it if you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's a fact. Most people, in my opinion, don't thoroughly do that enough, and you can always tell.
They shake on stage.
You know, you can see that too. And then when you're still bringing out water on stage, which had a lot to do with conditioning. But if you're thoroughly you're practicing your posing, you'll never see that. You'll never see all that water coming out on some people, and it has a lot to do with how you prepare for posing.
Yeah.
It's mostly that, in my opinion, than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God.
There you go. Way to pull it.
Oh.
Outstanding. Good set.
Oh.
Good job. Good job. Yes.
Stick a fork right in it. It is done. Like done. Yeah, I never use this thing. I know a lot of people like to use it to keep themselves down, but it makes it harder when I take this out.
You don't have to take your
Out of the
pants.
equation.
You don't have to take your pants now, but we got to go a couple rounds.
Okay.
you don't use this at
No,
all.
I don't use
No,
it at all.
I never could understand that either.
No.
There's no way in the world I could ever do that.
No, I
And
never use it.
I said, I don't know how you can do that. She never used it.
Stuff locked in.
I don't know
I
how she
use
gets.
my
I don't know-
abs and my back.
I don't know how she does it. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it. I tried it. I tried it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do it with that amount of weight.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Control. That's why I tell people, like, you know.
And I asked, I said, how in the world do you do that?
Yeah, I use my back muscles. Like, and I can feel it that much more in my back when I take this out of the equation. It keeps me from using my core, and it keeps me from giving my back the better workout. Just for me and my body, I just find that it's better.
Yeah.
For me to take this away. Yeah, and I mean, I can crank away at, I think the heaviest I've gone is like 140,
Okay.
150. But yeah, I prefer it. It makes a huge difference. So, pro tip, if you haven't tried it, give it a try. Why not?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, what happened? Thank God it's over.
Yeah.
For now.
That's zero
Till
carbs.
cardio later.
That's zero carbs, though. You had oatmeal this morning?
Yes.
All right.
So, a little bit of oatmeal. Plain.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
Like that?
No, we don't want to run the risk of, just adding in too many things. We keep it very simple.
Keep it simple. And I get real strict about it because the body can be sensitive to very slightly amounts of water sometimes, Some people like that, and she's real sensitive to that, so we really got to watch it.
I have a new appreciation for your rear delt to tricep. It's freaking not.
We call it the softball.
It's not just the tricep sweet rear delts, but it's the way they tie in together.
that bump on the back. We call it the bump on the back. But yeah, I mean, when I work rear delts, it's usually with back. So yeah, off season, I really, really, really hammer in those rear delts like a lot and back. I mean, and it's just basic old school movements. T-bar row, lat pull downs, right? I don't know why people got away from doing like T-bar row. That's my jam. And vary the grip positions.
Next week, as I said before, will be a day-by-day process. So every single day, there will be a change to our diet, starting Sunday, week leading up to the show. Now, for the most part, it'll be most of a depletion for Monday, for maybe Sunday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be more of a depletion, pretty much what she's going through now. But depending on exactly where she is day by day, would depend on how much of a all protein diet she'll have. Now, and then we'll start adding the carbohydrates back in slowly, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, depends on where she is with it.
Yeah.
You
based on how I look, right?
That's it. You have to be real careful with it and not to overspill it with carbohydrates and fats, because that'll give her water. So that's why I have to see her twice a day to make sure that we have the right amount in, and make sure she has enough and not has too much in. So the last week, as I said, will be a day-by-day process, and it's around the clock pretty much. I check in with every 4 hours, making sure that I see her twice a day, asking what she eat. Okay, did we do this? Did we do that? It's pretty much a very, very hands-on thing. The very last week.
Yeah.
And then
and the last week and the week before. So I mean, we're 2 weeks out now. So
So
the last
this week coming up, this week, won't be quite as strict as the last week, but it'll be pretty similar. But the only difference will be is that her calorie count will be up a little bit more this week. And that's the only difference.
Just a little.
Maybe.
And right, that's maybe. Because he has pulled some rugs out that I hadn't seen before every now and then. Gosh, yeah.
I mean, I've had her, I said, hey, this is what we need to do. I mean, sometimes I'll get it down to say, all right, all I want you to do right now with your protein is have 5 ounces of water. That's exactly how minute it gets sometime on it, And then I say, this is the amount of water you need for now with your protein. Then another hour and a half, you have 4 ounces, just to see what kind of reaction our body's going to get. If it's giving me what I think it'll give, then we move on from there.
But then he'll make me pose.
Yeah.
He'll make me pose, and then it's like, okay, well, let me see you before I tell you exactly what I want you to eat.
Yeah.
And then
So
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I have to see what's going on.
Yeah.
The biggest key is having that bird's eye view on exactly what's happening with her. I have to see it.
Yeah, there have been times where I've had to shift gears really quick, hit the grocery store to Instacart, because it's like, okay, no, can't have this anymore. We're gonna switch to this, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it may be. See, I you told me to buy this. Yeah, I know. I changed my mind. You don't need that. Get something different. That's how it is.
You just got to go with it.
This is how it goes.
Gotta
You know.
go with it.
You know, this is a serious business. You know, I have to make sure that she's at her very best, regardless whether she is going to be going 1 show, 2 shows, or 3 shows. It doesn't lack up. I take it seriously, 100% all the way through.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
You know, now she's got a show in 2 weeks, and then after that, she's got a 4-week break in between.
Yeah.
You know, nothing will change once she do that. She'll get a couple of days to do what she like, and after that,
Back to
let's
business.
go.
Back to
we
business.
got to get back to business.
And sometimes, depending on, you know, what he has for a goal for the second show, i.e. the Olympia, things may change.
Yep.
Things may change a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just have to make sure that I remind myself, I'm not the coach. I'm not the coach. I don't need to play the role of the coach. I'm the athlete, and all I have to do is make sure that I'm checking the boxes. So in that regard, you know, I'm super, super thankful because it takes a lot off my plate. All I have to do is just follow the plan. Pose and follow the plan.
Yeah, the plan's been working very good so far.
It's been working
You know,
excellent so far.
it's been very good working with it. It makes it a lot easier when you got somebody that's completely willing and doesn't buck the system. You expect your athletes to buck the system sometimes. That's normal.
Yeah.
You know, but when they really have a good understanding of what you're trying to teach them or tell them, they'll fall in line with what you're trying to do. You know, I have never given her anything or told her anything that I explained to her why we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know, I say you need to learn this just as much as I do.
Yeah.
That way she'll know exactly what's going on with her, know exactly what's going on. I tell her everything and say, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do tomorrow. And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
You know? So that way she feels comfortable with what she's doing. I'm not just saying do this and then just run off. She's like, okay, I'm not feeling good about this. You don't get anywhere if you have an athlete that's not feeling good about what they're doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know, so but you gotta be comfortable with who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's what's making it work so far. It's been working very well.
Do you trust 100%?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had to tell myself, you know, like, listen, before you think about it, because I think every athlete is tempted to do that. Like, especially the first year, I was like, I don't know. But it was like, you know what, after our first year of working together, I was like, whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do it, right? Because that's why he's here. I think at a certain point in prep, athletes, the brain goes somewhere else, right? Like, you don't know. You want food. You have cravings. You're trying to fight off all these different, like, you know, temptations. And it's like, you need a coach to walk you through it. And the fact that he's been there and done that, I was like, you know what? I trust him wholeheartedly. I wouldn't have asked him to come, you know, and don't waste his time, right? That's my biggest thing too. It's like, you know, when you look at a coach, the investment of their time. I mean, he's gonna make money. We've had that conversation several times, right? He's been in the business for over 30 years. So I mean, his wisdom and experience to me is priceless, right? Yeah, I trust him wholeheartedly. And I mean, even many other pros. My good friend and mentor, the Miss Olympia ×8, Linda Murray, has also been with John for advice and training. So it's like, you know what, when she told me as well, you know, whatever he tells you to do, you can take it to the bank, you're good to go. It helped me to relax that much more, but I trust him wholeheartedly. He says, you know, don't drink this water, okay. Don't eat this fish, eat that fish, okay.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Being a team, teamwork.
That's it.
You know, you see a lot of situations where clients and their trainers buck heads, you know, and right off the bat, you know, going down the line, especially as you get closer, diets get tighter, get stingier, it doesn't work because, you know, emotions start to flare and then you're going to run into a whole lot of problems, you know.
No.
But a good trainer will always keep in mind what the athletes are going through. You don't just throw it at them and say, hey, you do this and this is the way it is. You have to understand what you're dealing with. If you haven't been through it, you wouldn't understand that. But you have to realize that you have a person here that's been on a strict diet for 12 weeks, haven't had some of the things that they want, haven't been able to go and do the things that they want to do. You know, they're miserable, you know, and they got to go back to the gym twice a day. You have to keep these things in mind.
Yeah.
You know, you have to consider what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I would tell anybody any day, any athlete anywhere, if you can diet for 14 weeks and stay with it, okay, you're one of the best athletes in the world because everybody ain't gonna be able to do that. It had nothing to do with what sport it is. That is the hardest part of any sport in the world.
Yeah.
And to stay with it, you know. And it doesn't get as much publicity as a lot of other sports do, but the people that I've known that have really done some other sports have tried it. This isn't for me, you know, and it's not for everybody.
No.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you get into it and you become comfortable in knowing that, okay, I got a show coming up, I got to get my prep started, it just flows into your mind because you become more adjusted to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and it becomes easier and easier the more you do it.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more in tune you become seasoned. Even though you still have to go through the agonies of it, but you handle it better every time you do it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so much more easier to relate and to communicate with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more we do this together, the better relationship has got. I say, okay, let's meet at this time. This is what'll happen. Let's go take care of it.
Yeah.
And it's that simple.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try to make her job as easier and as smooth as I can because, you know, right now, any athlete, not just her, if you're going through that, that's what they need right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I know a lot of people don't really get that all the time. And I think that if a lot of them had that, you know, things would have been a lot better for them. Not saying the outcome would have been better, but mentally,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what's the most important, how a person is mentally upstairs when they get to this point.
Yeah.
You know, so if you got the right mentality for it, and you don't get that unless you got the right person behind you telling them, hey, this is how it is.
Yeah.
It has to be that way. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And, you know, the relationship has been outstanding. I wouldn't change anything for it. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
100%. 100%.
You know, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
You know, and when you look forward to doing your work and you look forward to working with a person, you know, you can go places.
Yeah.
And it never fails. So.
Yeah.
The inner sanctum here,
Word.
Drea's office.
Yep.
So what's the chair here? Is it just a recliner? Is this like vibrate or something? It looks like a massage chair. Or
Nope,
something
just
like that?
reclines.
Just reclines. So
Just
you come in here and
recline.
take naps, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially after some hard posing days and training days. It's like, you know what? Let me get off my feet. It's great because I mean I can come in here and just close the door, get quiet, and
Get
it's easy ride.
Got the Miss Olympia magazine right over here.
Shout out to MD.
So
Mutant Nation.
I wanted to ask you, I know how much energy it takes to just put on a smile at this stage. And I can see you, I watched you walk in the door. I watched you turn it on. I watched you get through your workout, and I know what that takes, and I know how much energy you just expended here. What is it that keeps you in such a good mood and you are one of the most positive people I know.
Oh, thanks, God.
For real.
Thanks.
And what is it about you that drives that?
This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity, and it's something that when I was working full time, because I mean I worked full time up until 2020, 40-hour week, and I was getting off work, training clients, doing posing seminars, and I always said to myself, you know what, man, if I could do this full time and not have to work, I would be so grateful and I would be happy about it. And the opportunity has presented itself. So I look at each prep like that. You know, this is something that I prayed for, something that I hoped for, and the opportunity to actually make it happen is now, right? And it just resets every time I start prep. And so when I think about that, it's like, yeah, I get another opportunity, another chance to really do what it is that makes my heart smile. And yeah, I find a way to get it. Even though I may be tired, I get that excitement because it's down in there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever gonna shake that, and I like it.
So
I love it.
Scale of 1 to 10, where is your energy level at? And keep in mind too, I imagine that some of the people watching this have never prepped before. You know, like like you and I know what that's like, what that low energy is like.
Yeah.
But what is it like? Like where would you put that scale of number 10, 1 to 10? And how would you describe what this experience is at this moment? Because I know you're in the trenches of the experience, as Kai Green would say.
Yes, I would say it's probably like a 4 or 5.
Okay, so that's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but like, once, I'm still kind of moving right now, but once I like sit down and like, an hour has passed and I'm like, oh yeah, ready to go to sleep. Like even before I got here, I had my compression Normatex on.
Okay.
And I fell asleep with them on. Like people don't realize, like, man, the body it's a well-oiled machine, but you're gonna have to give it the TLC that it deserves. So I mean, for me to be wearing the Normatex and 1 minute I'm on the phone, the next minute I'm like dropping the phone like on my chest because I'm falling asleep and trying to, and then I'm dropping the phone. Yeah. So I mean, right now, a 4 to 5. Once I actually get home and get like that next meal in, probably be like a 2 to 3, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I need to go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, and some days, I mean, some days are more heightened than others. I think that, like when my suit comes, I get another like burst of energy because I'm like, oh my gosh, look at it, it's so pretty. But then it's like, okay, it's getting close again because right now John's getting ready to cut something else, and I'm like, oh man. But typically right after the workout, before the next meal is usually like the time where it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
woof. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll let you go then so you can eat your fish. You got fish
Got
over here.
fish.
And that's it for
Got
this
fish
next meal. It's
for
just
this
fish,
next
huh?
meal. Fish.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there's still veggies later on, but right now, post workout, we just need the protein in there, and water. And then, yeah, when I get home, I'll have to wait roughly about 2 hours, and then I'll be able to have some good veg and some more fish and supplements. I'll get my magnesium in, multivitamin.
A decade ago, would you have ever imagined you'd be in this spot right now?
Oh no. I always remembered looking at Linda Murray's mural at the gym, thinking, man, I wonder what it would feel like to be in the best shape of my life. And that's just kind of where it started. It was just like, man, you know what? I wasn't happy being overweight, but I wasn't really doing a whole lot about it. Not to the extent that I knew I could. And that's where it was like, man, you know what? I don't know where the journey's going to take me, but I know I'm going to feel a lot better being in better shape. And the journey just kind of started to evolve from there. And I think that I'd have to say I'm pretty happy with what we've accomplished so far, but not comfortable yet. Not comfortable. Still got to apply a little more pressure. Even now, I'm asking myself, okay, what else can I be doing? What else should I be doing to try to, move the needle that much more? Any last little bit of effort that I could give? Like, John has had to call me and tell me, like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in the gym doing cardio. He's like, didn't you do cardio already? Yeah. I just wanted to get out of the gym. And I'm like, okay, I guess that means I got to go like right now. And I'm like, oh gosh. But that's just the way that I know that I can control what variables I can, right? I can control my effort. I can control what I actually put into it. And that's where I focus my attention. And it's my responsibility. This is something that, again, I prayed for and asked for. And the opportunity to get it done is like right now, right? 2023, I have an opportunity before me to go and become Miss Olympia again. And I'm going to do that.
What you got there in your hands, Drea?
A dream come true.
Yeah, how does that feel to be on the cover of MD?
I cried. I cried.
Yeah.
I mean, that this was just amazing. People, when I first started, really getting serious about working out, we're talking 23, 24.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be in a magazine one day. And they laughed. People at the gym laughed. And it was hurtful. But it motivated me that much more. And that's where I'm never too quick to say what someone will and won't do, because all it takes is a decision. And once a decision is made, then there's just that right opportunity and that right time. But and I'm still friends with the person now. It took a while for me to kind of get over it, but at that time I think they didn't mean any harm, but it stayed with me. Because I mean, when you tell your dream to someone and then they laugh in your face, it hurts, it stings, right? Because you want people, especially people who see you every day at the gym, right, to really take it serious, that this is something that I really want to do. I want to really be good at this.
Yeah.
And to laugh in my face was just another log to add to that fire. Yeah, and I mean, this is where I try to be much more understanding with my clients, right? All right, if this is your goal, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but just be ready to do whatever it takes to get there, right? So you're going to learn some stuff about yourself along the way, and this couldn't have come at a better time. I mean, right in the middle of prep,
Yeah.
before my first show of the year. I mean, this got me fired up. When I found out this was coming out, oh man, the cardio was awesome that day.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah, another dream come true, man. I mean, this is like, that's why I tell people, like, being Miss Olympia is good, but it's better than I even imagined that it would be.
Yeah?
Much better.
How so?
Because I had one thing in mind, and I thought that maybe, you know, opportunities for things like this were, you know, long gone with, you know, the removal of the Miss Olympia from the Mr. Olympia contest. And I thought, you know what? Well, now that it's back, you know, whatever opportunities come, you know, I'll try to make the most of them. But I really was unsure if anything like this was ever going to be able to come back and be possible. But this is a huge testament of, you know what? Keep those dreams alive. Don't give up, because you never know. It can definitely still happen. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. I'm like, wow, this is wild. That's me. Like, who is that girl?